And I'm not saying it's easy. I'm just saying it's easier than cold calling, and it's easier than just traditional networking and going out and meeting a bunch of strangers. You can sit with your laptop on your lap while you're watching, The Good Fight or some, some whatever shows you guys are watching, and you can start figuring out how you're going to get value. So the easiest way to get business, hands down, bar none. And I think, who knows Brian? I introduced Brian to somebody. Not sure who that was. But anyway, this is a former client of mine. And notice he's got 500 plus connections. We're first degree connections. He's got 500 connections. I click on those connections. Okay. So what I'm looking for are not the first degree connections, because I probably already know those people, although based on the size of my network, maybe not. But I'm going after second degree connections. What's the difference between first and second?
Friend of a friend.
What was that?
It's a friend of a friend.
Yeah, so this is someone I probably know. This is someone I don't know, but that Brian would know. So watch what happens when I click on that. It knocks it down to 378. Now, who am I targeting? If I want to get an introduction from Brian to someone, who would that be?
You're looking for attorneys.
All right, thank you. So let's say I want to meet attorneys in Chicago. I can click on this. All right, that's going to knock it down a little bit, not much, 207. Then I can go to all filters, and I can go to legal services or law practice. Now watch what happens. Now, some of you have the premium or the expanded. Some of you have the basic level platform. You're going to have very limited capacity to do this work if you don't have at least the premium, which I think is like $60 a month. But you don't have to start there. I think you could start with the very basics and go through that. So there's 77 results, which is about 7 or 8 pages of lawyers. If I wanted to take it even further, I could also add here partner. And that's going to knock it down a little further. Now we're at 40 results or 4 pages. So what I could do is I could go through these and say, oh, here's someone at his firm. Why is someone at his firm better than someone who's not? If I want an introduction for Brian. Yeah, Greg?
He's got a closer relationship with that person, so easier intro.
He may have. Yep. And it's someone at his firm. So he may be seeing them every day or every week. He may be talking with them. He's connected on LinkedIn. This person, Megan Morrissey, Brian may not have talked to this person for years, but someone at his firm is probably going to be a closer connection. Okay. So as I go down here, I can see that not only does Brian know John Lippick, but all these other people do too. Tony Nishar, Amir looks familiar. Okay. Or no, who's it? Tony Nishar. That's, wait a second. I'm having a brain fart. Oh, that's a Posinelli. I know Tony for years. All right. So I can right click on this link, open a new tab. Don't do it in the same tab. Open up a new tab. Now I can see these are all the people that know that I'm connected to that also know that contact whose name I've already forgotten, John. Okay. Now Neville Reed. Neville Reed is on my website. Neville Reed and I are buddies from way, way long ago. If it turns out that Brian doesn't know John, what's my backup plan? Ask Neville. Okay. I can go down this list. These are all people that are connected to me. And I don't know Paul. I don't know Chris. I don't know a lot of these people because I have a very big network. I know James Allen real well. I could ask him. All right, you guys get the point. So the idea is that the easiest way for you guys to get quality introductions is to go through and create a list of 5 or 10 names, set up a networking meeting with Brian, let Brian know, I want to network with you. Let's come up with some mutual contacts that might make sense. And maybe Brian comes up with a bunch of lawyers that don't do IP that he wants to meet, or maybe some GCs that I know, which may be far and few between, but that's okay. And that's one of the best ways. Any questions about that particular strategy? Who is this good to use? It's good to use with your best friends. It's good to use with your closest partners. It's good to use with people that know you really well. If you meet someone at a networking event and you guys don't come up, and you meet for a coffee and you don't come up with anything, this could be a step 2. So Eliza, You and I are meeting to network. Okay. We both want to meet lawyers in DC. Fair enough. Okay. So I say to you in our networking coffee or Zoom, hey, why don't we meet again this time? Let's go through each other's LinkedIn contacts. Let's find a couple of contacts that might make sense, and let's walk each other through them and see if we can make some proactive introductions. Now, why would you agree to that, Eliza?
Because we both benefit from that.
Yeah, I'm not a taker. I'm a giver, and you're a giver, and we both want to make this mutually beneficial. So it's not something that you may want to do with a complete stranger in the first 5 minutes of a conversation. But if you've met someone, you've qualified someone, you feel like their network might be valuable and yours might be valuable to that person, set up a next step to go through your LinkedIn's. Or people that you know really well, like you have an ABC list of contacts, your A's and B's are your best contacts. You could do this with them, even if you didn't set up a meeting. Like, let's say that I'm working with Keith Allen. I've been working with Keith for a while, and Keith and I have known each other for years. Keith, if I came up with a list of 10 names and hit you up with those 10 and say, hey, is there one or two that you think you could introduce me to? What would you say?
Oh, absolutely. How would you like me to
Done.
introduce? How would you like me to introduce them?
Yeah. Now I just have to coach them through what I'm looking for. So it could be literally that easy to get in front of GCs, CEOs, other lawyers, just doing this one thing. Questions? Yeah, Kevin?
Hey, Steve, I know you work with a million firms in Chicago, so I'm just curious, with attorneys, time is the great enemy, right? And finding and managing our time is really a struggle. Are there firms that are having their marketing people for the people that are in bigger firms going through and doing this for the attorneys, is training them and having them go out and facilitate these introductions?
I think there are business development people now, like at Ice Miller, at Amir's firm. Who's your person? She's a friend of mine. I forgot her name. But you've got someone that does that. She basically just is a matchmaker for the lawyers. Who's that?
Kim Stapleton, is that who you're
Yeah,
talking
Kim
about?
Stapleton. Kim Stapleton. She's been in the legal industry forever, knows everybody. So she's she's someone that I don't think she's going to sit and go through Amir's LinkedIn and work all that out, but she's going to try to figure out connections. Another way to do this, if you have an assistant or a paralegal and you want to train them or show my videos or whatever to do this, someone else could do this for you. My virtual assistant, just so you guys know, my virtual assistant in Philippines that charges me $10 an hour is going through and she's connecting me with about 250 attorneys a week, and 30 of them are connecting, and we're following up with emails, getting them to my podcast, offering up my book, not selling them anything, only adding value as a way to get the relationship started with total strangers. Question.
So you're giving them access, your password to your account to see your messages and the whole bit?
Yeah. There's definitely some trust that needs to happen. Knowing I could go in and change my password if I had to. It's a bit of a risk, but again, it's a return on investment based on that risk. So, all right, guys. So that's one way to go. Another way to go is to look for businesses. So let's say Kevin, I'm going to pick on Kevin. Kevin wants to get into, what's a business you want to get into? Like a bank, or maybe you want to get into a real estate brokerage company that you'd like to get referrals from?
Sure.
Who's that? Give me a name.
CBRE.
All right. So CBRE, let's see if this comes up. Nope. Give me the more full name.
CB Richard Ellis.
Huh. I mean, this is what's coming up, but this is not it.
Yeah, that's it.
Oh, that is it. Okay.
Yeah.
I only have one connection that works there. That's weird. All right. So Kevin wants to get into CBRE. All right. And we see that there's 72,000 employees. All right. So that doesn't scare me. So we click on the number, we click on the employees, pulls up 74,000 results. Kevin wants to meet someone in Chicago. All right. So we're going to go to location. We're going to click on Chicago. Oops. All right. This is not working. There we go. All right, we'll just do that. That knocks it from 74,000 down to 787. Okay. Now he also wants to meet people that are his second degree connections. This is acting really funny. Sorry. That knocks it down to 181. All right. Is there a title, Kevin, that you're interested in?
Why don't you put in the office, like an office broker?
I'm just going to put in the word office, see what happens. Now, that's not a good word.
You could just put in broker.
Yep. No, not great either. So now keep in mind, this is for me. Kevin might have a lot more real estate contacts that have contacts here, but here's a broker advisory transaction services, Brandon Green. And that's someone that you're interested in. So again, I can look at John Paul. I know John Paul real well. I know John Morris real well, 41 other shared connections. I have really good access through my network to get into Brandon Green if I wanted to. So if Kevin does this, he just puts in the names of the companies that he wants to get into. This also works for GCs. So Greg, you want to get in, Greg Abrams, you want to get into a 1,000-person company that does widget manufacturing. Okay, you could put in that company and see who their general counsel is there, and then who knows that general counsel. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Questions? Questions? No questions? All right. I mean, you could go as far out as just doing industries, But for me, you know, I could look at, like my assistant's working on like Milwaukee and Madison. We've done Chicago. She's going to move to Dallas and Houston. That's our next area of hitting them up. And if nothing else, what it's doing is for me is it's building my network of attorneys. Okay, these aren't attorneys I know. These are the attorneys I have the potential to know. And what I'm going to do is just shower them with good content over the next while, and you know, hit them up. I'm actually setting up a new type of program. So they're going to get into my newsletter. They'll get my monthly newsletter. But I'm also going to be setting up a CRM soon. I have a CRM, Lawmatics, but I'm going to be setting up a new way of emailing you guys, emailing my strategic partners, and emailing all of my podcast guests on a more regular basis that looks like it's a real email, not a newsletter. So I'll let you guys know how that goes, but that's something all lawyers should be doing, and most are not. Because it's not just about meeting people, it's about maintaining that connection and that relationship.